Welcome to Beyond the Bell with myself, Adi Ladipo, alongside two former champions, Danny Jacobs and Showtime Sean Porter. The fans are making their way outside of this magnificent T-Mobile Arena. I'm guessing 99% of them going home very, very happy as well, as Canelo Alvarez defends his undisputed titles at 168 pounds. Controversial scorecards, I thought as well. We're going to get into that right now. Danny, you were ringside commentating. You saw the fight, I guess, differently from us up here. 116, 112, 115, 113 twice.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
113. 113, that's the UK accent, 113.
It was shocking, I'm not going to lie. It was one of those, obviously we know boxing sometimes can get controversial, but in such a fight of this magnitude, you would think it would be clean cut. We all, the fans, everyone watching, seen a clean cut fight.
Yeah.
In what we saw to be a shutout. And so I gave Triple G no more than 3 rounds.
3?
3 rounds.
I even think 3 generous. I gave him 2.
I
Very
gave
true.
him 3 as
You gave
well.
him 3?
True, yeah.
Yeah, me and Danny, we're the fighters. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with 3.
And you know what? I tweeted this. I said, I don't know how to judge a professional boxing match, but I have it 9-3. Like, we're former world champions, and we have it 9-3.
Yes, sir.
What are y'all doing down there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That y'all seeing something so much different from us.
Exactly.
I mean, we just answered it right there.
Oh,
y'all ain't fighters.
Is there
Yeah,
that we can't see when we're the ones
I mean, Dave Moretti normally comes with wild scorecards. Him having it 116, 112 was the best scorecard there.
Yeah.
And even that's still wild.
Agreed, yeah.
You know, the fight never really got going, did it? Every time you're thinking, and this is not to Canelo's fault, Canelo's dominating the rounds, but every time you're thinking, come on, Triple G, land something to make this place really explode, we didn't get it.
We was just hoping, we was wishing, we were waiting. It was that moment that never fully came about. And I think, to me, I said it before the fight, Father Time doesn't wait for anyone. And you've seen Triple G mentally break down. You've seen him get old in that fight. You've seen him being able not to time a younger, faster, stronger champion than Canelo.
It was interesting because you go back to his fight a few months ago against Murata, and he started really badly then, but he came on very strong in the rounds and in the end stopped Murata. And you're thinking, okay, maybe he's playing possum here. Maybe the idea was to see if Canelo will get a bit tired and then jump on him in the second half of the fight. Didn't come.
Well, I saw 3 things happen in this fight.
You saw 3?
I saw 3 things happen. I saw 3 things happen in this fight. I saw Canelo start fast, and Triple G was hesitant. Couldn't really find his timing. Definitely was a little worried about getting countered and things like that. That's number 1. Number 2, this is a high-level fight. So nobody really wants to take that chance because they know what the repercussions are if you take the chance at the wrong time. That's number 2. Then number 3, saw Canelo slow down, saw Triple G have some success just touching him. And what does that do, Danny, mentally? Oh, I can touch him. Let me do a little more. So it really wasn't that Triple G decided to pick it up. It was that Triple G picked it up, found a little success, Canelo slowed down, and things kind of evened its way out at the end. And I gave Triple G like 3 of the last few rounds because of that.
Yeah, it was a strong sense of lack of urgency in Triple G's demeanor. And as a champion, someone who understands leaving it all on the line, that's why you was real hoping that he can actually, you know, do this thing the way that he wanted to. And so for me, I wasn't disappointed because I knew that it wasn't probably going to be the best showing from Triple G, but at the same time, I was highly impressed from Canelo because, as Sean said, Canelo is not a fast starter. You know, me having fights with him myself, both guys, but I know one thing about Canelo that I train for is to train for where he goes into these pitfalls, these lacks of time and fighting, and you know he starts to circle and he starts
to round off, doesn't he?
Absolutely. And so he started fast, changed the momentum of the fight, gave something different to Triple G to think about, and he, you know, he pulled out a very, very important victory for himself, coming back from a loss.
Chris spoke to both after, asking what next. Let's focus on Triple G, obviously unified champion at 160 pounds. 40 now, though. Father Time, as you said, doesn't wait for anyone. There are a lot of young, hungry champions at 160 that want the opportunity. If you are Triple G, you've done it all. You're probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. Do you continue? Do you take those young, hungry lions? Or do you say, you know what, we earned a lot of money tonight, we can go out with this, we can stop, or do you think he continues?
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
For me, you know, boxers have this thing where it's kind of hard to let it go. Boxers have this thing where sometimes you may need somebody to tell you that it's over and to give you that extra push. But fighters true are fighters by nature. And so I understand Triple G wanting to end his career the way that he wants to end his career. So I would suggest that he, you know, try to fight a guy by the name of Daniel Jacobs. I think, you know, they had a really good fight back in the day, and I think the fans would so just love that fight.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that either.
But
You can make 168 still?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Oh, 160?
Yes, sir.
Maybe not.
And I'm going to keep it real. I'm not mad at it because I think we seen a level that you just performed at your most recent fight, and then seeing a level that Triple G performed at his just like tonight. I think you both have ways to measure one another and figure out what you can do to beat one another. And you come to the ring a little bit more confident than Canelo did, than Triple G did tonight. And I'm sure you would rise to the occasion of understanding that now you have the opportunity to retire this man by the name of Triple G.
I like it. I like it. We're making sort of fights up here. Matchmakers, promoters, manager fees potentially as well. I want to talk to you about two big fights coming up. First one, October the 8th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Sold out O2 Arena. No more tickets available. What did you first make of it when you heard about this one? Eubank versus Ben. Catch weight of 157 pounds.
Man, I thought it was an interesting fight. First off, I was a big fan of the Eubanks back in the day. Got a chance to see Ben too, so to see them rival and to see that their kids are doing this and
crazy, right?
Not only just in father's footsteps, they're their own champions, they're their own men, and they're representing, embarking on something on their own. And so to see them do this, you understand the mismatch in terms of the weight class, but I like Ben because he's daring to be great, you know? And his last performances have been really good, so I think his chances are pretty fair.
I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I said that the sons usually, or through time in history, we haven't seen sons be able to duplicate what the fathers have done in virtually any sport. And I think this is the first time we've seen sons not duplicate their fathers' careers, but make it to that high level. Usually, the athletes, the sons don't get there at all. You know what I mean? So we've seen both sons get there, and I think that makes for this to be a really interesting fight, especially across the pond, where you guys really cared about their fathers and their father's legacy. Now they have an opportunity to kind of like scratch the surface of what their dads did and kind of like make their marks in it. You know what I mean? Like you said earlier.
And we know Canelo will be keenly interested in the other big fight we've got coming up in November as well. Dimitri Bivol against Gilberto Ramirez, Zurdo. That's a big one. That's a good one. Someone's O has got to go, as they like to say. Do you favor Bivol on that one? Looking at the size difference, Ramirez is massive.
What do you think, Sean?
It's a 50-50 fight, and I'll tell you why, because both of these guys are massive. This is like a completely even fight, you know? Zurdo likes to be very aggressive. Bivol likes to counterpunch. Bivol likes to turn and use the entire ring. I mean, stylistically, in every sense of a fight, this is a even match and a very exciting match because both these guys at 175, they have a high work rate. You know what I mean? So we wanted that tonight. We're definitely going to get that out of Zurdo.
I agree with Sean.
And Bivol.
Can I ask you one quick question before we go? A lot of rumors potentially about Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Again, just rumors for now. If you were Team AJ, would you take that fight?
Well, I am Team AJ, and I definitely would take that fight. You know, big fan of the guy, great, tremendous champion. I think, too, because stylistically, he haven't been able to find his niche with his last couple of opponents, but a guy who's bigger, longer, someone he can actually touch. Remember, with Klitschko, a little bit taller than he was. He was able to touch him. He was able to get inside, be more of the aggressor, be more of the fighter, opposed to smaller, looser guys. I mean, I don't know if, well, Sean knows, because Sean came up from the amateurs. He was...
Sean beat Usyk. This is crazy.
And so,
I thought you were going to say, Sean beat Danny.
Danny and Usyk.
But younger guys have a lot of success. Lighter guys, excuse me, have much more success when they go up against heavier guys because they're not used to that type of speed. They're not used to that type of athleticism. So I think if he can fight a guy like Tyson Fury, he'd have a lot more success.
Indeed. Look, what a night of boxing we've had here. Some great fights here on undercard as well. Quick shout out to Jesse Bam Rodriguez, my fighter of the year with that win now over Israel Gonzalez. Here we're seeing Saul Canelo Alvarez going into the dressing room. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Right, that's what you fight for, right? Not just the money and the titles, you fight for your family. It'll be interesting to see where Canelo goes now at 168 pounds. Does he go back up to 175 to take on Bivol if Bivol gets past Zerdo? Does he stick to 168? There's some challenges out there, some big challenges out there. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to Danny Jacobs. Thank you to Showtime, Sean Porter as well. Canelo reigns supreme at 168 pounds, but they're waiting. A lot of fighters are waiting, but what next for GGG? Does he retire? Does he continue fighting? Keep your eyes locked onto DAZN. We'll keep you updated.